They healed me in a way. Look at me, I'm all I'm smiling and all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sunny Job and Unblocked Life Hypnosis. Today, I have a lovely guest with me. She is Harsha from Mumbai. And I want to welcome Harsha to this interview. So, guys, I want to just give a background about Harsha and me. It was a completely new case for me. So fascinating. I think I'll let Harsha talk about it. So, Harsha, welcome. And thank you so much for doing this.
Hi, Sun. Thank you for having me on board. I met you on the 6th of July, and that was after I think 6 to 7 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mhm. So let's talk about what were you going through at the time when you met me, and what were the emotions that you were feeling, which you wanted to work on with me at that time.
So basically, I had so much on my plate that I didn't know what I was going through, to be honest. I mean, I didn't have any direction. I felt like I was completely lost. Okay. I it was all about my career, to be honest. So I studied something and I landed up doing something. After doing, internships, after working, I was not happy with what I was doing. And I'm someone who has always followed her heart. Okay. So, I mean, after trying so many things, I don't know, there was some sort of fear which I could not, like, I just could not work upon. So basically, it was all about fear of accepting that I could do all of these things. And uh, I mean, fear basically was the main cause, which you helped me out, which you helped me get out of it. So fear, and I also started experiencing some paranormal activities. I told you, right? I started staying alone. I wanted a break from all of these things. So I went to Bangalore and I completely stayed alone, did everything on my own. That was for 1 month. And then there was certain things which were just, I thought there's something that's following me, okay, in the dark during the time. It was something which was very unusual. So that fear was there. It all accumulated and I just could not face it. I was so shattered and I used to cry my heart out in the night. Like I was like, what's happening and why me? Why me? So I was not getting complete answers. Okay. There was a time when I could not stay alone in a room. Okay. I wanted someone. Like I started sleeping with my mom in the same room. Like I stopped going out. I stopped everything. I mean, that fear was so strong that like basically it blocked me from everything. I don't know what was it that was stopping me. I stopped giving interviews. I stopped, going out with friends. I'm someone who loves going out. But after meeting you, like we met and you knew there was something, like there was something in me which was not good at that time. You could see. And then the way you comforted me and the way I spilled out things, I started sharing things, and then it was so easy for me to communicate. It was so easy for me to connect with you, and here I am. Like we met twice, right? We didn't know that we would be meeting again, right?
Yep.
So I think we met on the night prior you left, right? One night
Mhm.
prior you left.
Yeah. A night prior to leaving Bombay. Yeah. That was, I think that was 9th of July.
And I also remember you forgot your umbrella.
I forgot the umbrella. It was an intense conversation, of course. What I'm really curious to find out is when you spoke about something to the effect of paranormal experience, when you tried to open up about this with people around you, did you get a lot of welcoming conversation when you tried talking about this?
Initially I was reluctant to speak about it. I was hesitant because I
Mm,
knew something people don't talk about it. This is something people don't accept. Okay, so I initially I thought it's just in my mind. Like I'm not someone who 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 used to believe in all these things, but I knew I'd heard of horror stories. Okay, but I was like, I don't know if this happens in real. These are all stories. But when it actually started happening with me for the very first time, I was stunned. And
mm,
then the very first person I spoke to was my father. I told him about all of this. And then my family, basically, after my father, my family was very supportive. And then they immediately called me back home. And after coming here, I still, I mean, I carried that fear along. I thought that, I just cannot sleep alone. It's
Mm,
chasing me like anything.
mm,
Like, it,
mm.
it stuck with me for good few days.
Okay. Would you say the fear was affecting your independence as a grown-up person, because now you had to depend on someone to be around you, someone to kind of keep you safe and make you feel safe?
Absolutely. I've always, been someone who's proud of her choices, who's taken, like life
Yeah.
terms, lived on her own terms. But this was something which made me dependent on someone else, be it family, be it
Mm,
mom, be it anybody. So I did not like the idea, and it was creating a mess in my mind. I was frustrated with whatever was happening, as in my life was in someone else's hand. Okay, as if I
mhm,
lost control of my own life. And then I started fearing, like, what will happen, like, what if something happens like that. So all these negative thoughts started building up, and I had a lot of negative energy, the negative vibes. I started having
mhm.
all of that. So I wasn't happy with what was happening.
And to the viewers, I want to just add a point over here. This has been one of the most unique cases of my life so far, because I have worked with different kinds of backgrounds in relationships and PTSD, trauma, anxiety. But this paranormal is something which I wasn't expecting at all. And I'm just grateful that this case came along my way, because it helped me also see my own potential as a healer and not just as a hypnotist. Kind of stretched my potential as well. So, Harsha, I'm grateful that you reached out and that we could have this conversation. So tell me about your life now. It's been 3 weeks since we spoke. What's going on? What's happening with all that fear that you used to have?
So I started experiencing this thing after meeting you. Like, you gave me a really good insight of things, like, you gave me a different perspective, which I obviously didn't have. So with that perspective, I gradually started seeing changes in me. Okay. I felt light. The burden that I had on my shoulders, I mean, I
Mhm.
felt that it was lifted, and I felt really light. And slowly and gradually, I started feeling that, okay, you told me that fear is just like a fly. I still remember that. You told me that fear
Yeah.
is just you just have to shoo it away, okay? If you see it, if you see it as a fly, it will be just this tiny. If you see it as a monster, it would be just, like, all around you, and it will
Yeah.
control you. It will not, like, it will block you from all the way. So exactly, I started considering or seeing fear as a fly, and then I tried chewing it off. Every time I got that feeling, okay, every time I
Right.
got fear, I just tried chewing it away, and one fine day it was all gone. And I remember I texted you that it
Yeah.
was 3 a.m. in the night, and there was a time earlier I never used to get up, or even if I had to pee in the night, I never used to get
Mm.
up in the middle of the night, just because I had so much of fear. And you know why I had this fear? Because the experience that I had was near to death. I know how I survived. So this is something very personal, very, very personal. Not everybody can take it, or not everybody can understand it. I don't know. I was very comfortable with you to share all of that, and you understood it, and like, you gave me a ray of hope. You gave me, like, you actually made me understand that these all things are there. It's not there. These things are there, but it's just that we have to face them. Okay. And these things cannot do anything until unless you let them do it. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is how it is. So I remember it was 3 a.m. in the night, and I was sitting on my sofa. Just it was dark. It was pitch dark, and I was just sitting. I was like, okay, this is all gone. I don't feel it's. I mean, I was very happy. And that very moment I texted you. Remember that very moment I texted you.
Yep. Yeah.
All happy, very, 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 very happy, and gratitude. Loads of gratitude.
Well, I'm so grateful that you're going through this and you're changing. So let me ask you this: like, what exactly about our conversation helped you trust me to open up about something so deeply personal about you?
So the very first thing was you were interested to listen to my conversation.
Hmm.
You were interested to know what was happening, and you did not, like, you didn't ask me questions straight up. You just went slowly and steadily, like, you just digged into the conversation slowly. You understood like what way I was getting into, and then that's how you found a way, and then you digged deeper in your own way, and then you got the answers, and that's how you got me an answer too.
Amazing. So Harsha, at any point while we were having this conversation in person, did you feel that there was something strange happening? We were doing something weird?
Not at all, not at all. Had it been like that, I would have just I would have just ran.
All right, amazing. So, um, tell me about your feeling right after our conversation and now, 20 days hence. Like, has anything shifted in in the way you're feeling about yourself and about the situation?
Of course. So, when we had a conversation, I was all ears. I was listening to what you were saying, what you were, like, I was listening to all of your experiences, and whatever you had to say, I listened. And then slowly and gradually, I think I inculcated all of that and started applying it onto my day to day life. So
Yeah.
I observing my thoughts. I started observing what was causing all of these thoughts. I started observing what fear I was into. And there was not just one fear, okay? There were fears. So one by one, I started healing, basically. So you healed me in a way. Look at me, I'm all I'm smiling and all.
But yeah, and for the viewers, I must call out that this is actually quite late here in India. And this is Harsha after doing her work. Like she's come back from work. She has to travel quite a bit from her residence to her office, and she's come back by public transport. Look at her; she's glowing at this hour of midnight, and that speaks a lot. Harsha, I see that you are continuously and constantly growing into this amazing person that you are meant to be. And I can see that things are shifting for you pretty fast. You have more clarity now. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate with you and see a lot of sense in what you went through, things that people don't talk about and open up about normally, out of the fear of being ridiculed and shamed further by everybody else. So thank you so much for doing this. This is a huge one and awfully generous of you to do this.
Thank you so much, Sunny. I'm really grateful. I'm sure, like, it's all about, like, you have to be ready. You have to be ready from within. For that, you have to work on yourself. That is what I could say, because that is how I got answers. And now also, now I'm very open to things. And my past is also, I've healed. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So, what would be your message to people who are genuinely sincere about finding the answers? And should they reach out to people like me, ask questions, and find the answers quickly?
Absolutely. First and foremost thing is to accept whatever has happened. Until and unless you accept what has happened, you would
Mhm.
not be able to understand why it has happened. So first thing is acceptance. Like my experience, you helped me a lot getting through this, because I wanted answers, and before meeting you, I had accepted all of these things, but I was not
Hmm.
sure about the answers. So after meeting you, you really, you helped me out of it, and I connected all the dots. Basically, I accepted whatever happened to me, and then I was ready to get all the answers. So it's all about access.
Amazing. I think that makes a lot of sense. It's about first you acknowledging the problem to yourself, and I mean, how can you let go something which you haven't accepted first, right? In order to let something go, you need to first acknowledge and accept it. So that's a brilliant and practical point. Thanks so much for sharing that, Harsha. Harsha, uh, it's been a pleasure as always. And I look forward to connecting with you when I see you in Mumbai or happen to see you in Karnataka, whichever happens first. Let's do this.
We are traveling soon.
All right. Take care of yourself.